I'm not leaving here until I buy something. They're just not going to let me out. What am I going to do? I'm probably going to get the crap beat out of me if I don't give them this money. If you've ever wondered about these travel scams and different things that can happen to you on your travels, if they're real, they are. I didn't think they were for a long time because I'd never had anything happen to me. I had been one of those blessed travelers that never been pickpocketed or scammed or anything. But one time I traveled and I was put through a pretty elaborate scheme to spend money I didn't want to spend. And I want to preface this by saying that even though these happened to me and my family members in these countries, it's not to say that these countries are any less safe than any other country. It just, these are the things that happened to us. These could have happened anywhere, including the United States. And when I'm traveling in the United States, I have to be aware of these things too. And this is just to relay just some information of what happened to me and some things that I learned about this that are hopefully going to help you and help me the next time I am on a travel adventure. One of the last things we want on our travel adventure is to come home with a memory that could ruin what was supposed to be a wonderful adventure with our friends and family. And sometimes these elaborate schemes that some of these unscrupulous individuals have can really put a damper on your vacation. And that happened to me on a trip to Thailand, and I want to tell you a little story about how that happened. So the scam started out pretty innocuously. We went to a temple that we didn't know had closed about 15 minutes earlier. We had gotten there late and it was closed. So the first thing we did was open up a tourist map, right? Classic, like put a sign on that says tourist, right? Open that up and we're looking at it, looking at the map, seeing where we want to go, what's still open. And a guy comes up, he's talking, hi, how are you? Good. I wanted to go in this temple, it was closed. We're like, yeah, we know, it was closed for us too. He said, oh, I forgot it closed early on this day. And I'm like, oh, we didn't know that. And he said, yeah. He said, there's another great temple, you should go there. It's really a cool place. I'm like, he said, it's open today. I said, oh, great, we'll go do that. And he said, oh, and if you want to do any great shopping, you should go to this area. It's the best place. It's where all the locals go. You won't have any tourists there, and you're going to get the best prices. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Tuk-tuk pulls up. He goes, you guys go ahead and take that one. I'll wait for the next one. You guys are tourists. I've seen some of this stuff. You guys go ahead. We get in. The tuk-tuk driver's really nice. He speaks great English. Oh, is this your first time here in Thailand? Yes, yeah. You're going to such and such a temple? Yes, yes. Oh, are you going to be doing any shopping? Yeah, probably. He said, well, you should go to this area. It's really great. It's not for tourists. It's where all the locals shop. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's what the other guy said. He goes, yeah, it's a great place. Drops us off at the temple. We're at the temple. We're looking at things. Everything's beautiful. A guy's looking at it next to me and he says, beautiful, isn't it? I said, yeah, it's really, really beautiful. He said, this is one of my favorite temples. And he spoke really good English too. And I said, oh, really? He goes, have you been to such and such temple? I said, yeah, we went there, but it was closed. He goes, oh, you should try to get to that temple whenever you can. It's really beautiful. I said, yeah. He then proceeds to say something like, that piece of jewelry you have on is really pretty. Oh, thank you, thank you. He said, if you like jewelry, I've got a great shop for you to go to. This place is where none of the tourists go. It's all where the locals. He mentions the shop. I'm like, my gosh, that must be the place to go. All three of them have mentioned this shop. That's great. So we get out, we get into our tuk-tuk, and we say, hey, you know that shopping area? Can you take us up to that shopping area? So he does. He gets us off and he lets us off at a suit shop, and we're like, okay, well, let's look. We go in, the prices are great. We find a suit. Fits David pretty good. They just need to alter it a little bit. They said, we'll have it to you by tonight so you can take it. I said, because we're leaving tomorrow, we really need to have that here by tonight. And not a problem, we'll get that to you tonight. Next, he shuffles me over to a jewelry shop, which was really nice. It was pretty inside. The air conditioning was amazing. It was so hot and humid. We just wanted to cool off. They offered us ice water. Oh, it was just so nice to be in there. And I'm looking around at jewelry, but I just, not really sure. Buying jewelry in a foreign place, I'm just not sure about it. Well, they came in and kept bringing out jewelry, and I said, look, I'm really not sure if I want to buy anything right now. Maybe I'll think about it and come back tomorrow. But I had mentioned to one of those guys that we were leaving tomorrow, and the guy said, "We're not open tomorrow." I said, "Tomorrow's Saturday. You're not open on a Saturday?" "Nope, we're closed tomorrow." That should have been a red flag. And it started to become a red flag to me that that's weird that they're not open. A lot of high pressure selling, high pressure, lowering the price, lowering the price. You know, you're not going to find a better price anywhere else, all this stuff. Finally, I said, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to buy anything. I just want to get a ride. Now, my tuk-tuk driver is no longer outside. I don't see him out there. I don't see any tuk-tuk drivers. There's nobody outside. And he says, "I'll tell you what, as soon as you buy something here, I'll get you a ride back to your hotel." I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy anything here right now. Like I said, as soon as you buy something here, we'll get you a ride back to your hotel. And I look at the door, and the two guys, these security guards, are just standing there, stern face, just looking. And I realize I'm not leaving here until I buy something. They're just not going to let me out. At this point, we'd been in there for over an hour, and I just wanted to go. So I go ahead and I buy a small piece of jewelry. It didn't fit me quite right. He said, "We'll get it sized and get it to you tonight." And I said, "You know what? I just want to take it back to my jeweler and have my jeweler appraise it and size it." "Well, we're not responsible for whatever that jeweler does to your ring. They could do anything like change out the stone and whatever." And I'm thinking, I've been duped. I've been had here, and now I can't figure out a way to get back. So at this point I said, I just need to get home. I need to get back to the hotel. We're meeting people for dinner. I need to get back. Get the tuk-tuk driver. I have my ring. I've got this certificate of authenticity of this ring. I get back. The tuk-tuk driver's driving us. I say, "I want to go back to our hotel." I tell him the name of the hotel. He says, "I don't know where that is." I said, "How can you not know? This is a major hotel. You don't know where this is?" He starts driving. I'm concerned now. I don't know where this guy's taking us. We get to where we stop, and there's some other tuk-tuk drivers, and I stopped, and I got us out of the tuk-tuk, and I went to another tuk-tuk driver and said, "I need to get to this hotel. Can you take me?" He said, "Yes." Our original tuk-tuk driver gets out and said, "I am your tuk-tuk driver. You will ride with me." I'm like, "I'm not riding with you. You have no idea what you're doing, where you're going. I'm not riding with you." Long story short, we get back to the hotel and look up these scams, and that's exactly what it was. An elaborate scam to get information from us as we were talking and chatting to people, to get to all these people. He knew we were leaving the next day and that he would not be open. So, that way he pressured me into buying something and made me feel unsafe in that store so that I would buy something. Of course, David's suit wasn't ready that night. It wasn't ready at 6, 8, or 10. And finally, they said, "We'll bring it to you tomorrow morning. We'll bring it to you." I'm like, "We're leaving tomorrow morning. I don't have time for this. I need it." We ended up not getting the suit and leaving without it. So paid for a suit that we never got. The only good thing that came out of this really was that I took the ring to my jeweler. I had him appraise it, and it did actually appraise for what I bought it for. And I didn't tell the jeweler what I bought it for. I said, "Hey, this is a gift to me. Can you just tell me what this ring is worth?" And it was worth what I bought it for. I did feel good that at least it appraised for what I paid for it, but I felt bad that I ended up feeling pressured into buying a piece of jewelry I didn't really want or need. So just be on the lookout for those types of scams. Be careful who you chat with. Be careful what information you choose to share. And if they speak really good English, that might be a tip-off. If you do get in a situation where you feel like you've been scammed or ripped off, make sure you report that to the U.S. Embassy in the country that you're visiting so that they know. Try to get as much information like the retailer's information and things like that and give it to them. Also, if you have been charged for something and it's fake or didn't come back, I contacted our credit card company and I had them do a chargeback to that vendor for the suit to say they never delivered upon our receipt of money. They said they would deliver it, and they disputed that, and I was able to get my money back. So those are some options you have. It's just a hassle that you have to go through it. But again, try to be aware. Don't buy anything like the day before you're going to leave. Make sure you have a day or two so you can go back and either get it or negotiate with them and say, "Look, you never delivered this. I'm going to do a chargeback, or I want my money back." And just see if there's something that would help you out. But don't buy things the night before you're going to leave to go back home. I think most of us are aware of pickpocketing, and that happens everywhere. And it happens quite frequently, to be honest with you. And I had a situation that happened to me at Gare du Nord in Paris, where I was trying to catch a train somewhere, and a group of people, women and children, came up to me, and they're begging, and the kids are pawing at you, you know, begging you, and you just have to be firm and tell them to leave you alone. And I mean firm. I had to yell at these people to get away from me and stop touching me, because they're just trying to figure out where you might have a wallet or a phone or something that's valuable that they can get to. Normally, I don't ever carry my phone and my wallet in a pocket for that reason, and I carry it in something like this. And this little bag right here is my EDC, my everyday carry when I travel. And it's basically theft proof is the only way I can really describe it. And I'm not going to go through that in this video, because it really warrants a video all on its own because of its features and for what I carry in it. And if you'd like me to do a video on this, please leave me a comment below and say, I'd like a video on your travel EDC, and then I'll know that you're interested in that, and then I will make a video on this as well. But I do recommend that you don't keep a phone or a wallet in any pocket, unless it's going to be maybe in a vest or a coat where the coat is zipped up and it's in an inside pocket where they really just can't get into it. But I truly, tell you, do not put a phone or wallet in an outside pocket. They will figure out a way to get to it. RFID theft is a very big thing that happens around the world as well. And so even though I carry this bag, which is RFID sleeved in here, I also keep my cards in an RFID sleeve. That way, if I take my cards out to put into another purse that doesn't have RFID, or I slip it into like my little bike shorts pocket if I'm going out to, let's say, grab a coffee, it's still in some sort of protective sleeve that'll keep anyone from taking my information off of the card. So I carry these, even though I carry this, just as an extra layer of protection when I don't have them in this. This other story comes from my son, who is traveling over in Europe, and he was supposed to meet another friend there. They didn't arrive at the train station at the same time. My son gets off, there's a guy there, and he just seems like a regular guy. He speaks really good English, and Brian just, asked him, by the way, do you know where this hotel is? And he said yes. And he got there, and his friend was there, set it all up. Everything was great in the hotel. They decided to go out that night, and they wanted to find a nice, fun bar to go to. What young man doesn't want something like that? So they head on out, and he sees his friend out there late on the street. He goes, oh, hey, hi, how are you? He goes, oh, hey, good, how are you? What you guys up to? Oh, we're going to head up and find a bar somewhere. Oh, I've got just the bar for you. This is a great place, lots of fun, good-looking girls. You're going to have a great time. So they head over there, and they go in. It's a decent bar. They sit down, table over, it's a couple of good-looking girls. They start chatting, they start having drinks together, and the next thing you know, two guys come up to the table and said, it's time to settle your tab. Well, they weren't really ready to, but they said, okay. The girls are like, we're leaving, we're gonna head out now. And they said, okay, we'll settle the tab. Brian hands him a credit card, and he said, no, cash only. The guy gives him a bill, and it's like $500. And the guy, he's like, $500? What's worth $500? What Brian didn't understand was they gave him a menu, and there were no prices on the menu. So you didn't really know what the price of anything was. In the meantime, the guy said, we only take cash. They take him to an ATM. They make him put his card in and get into his account, and they take all of the money out of his account. They basically forced him to take it out and give it to him. There were 3 guys there with just him and this other guy, and he thought, what am I going to do? I'm probably going to get the crap beat out of me if I don't give them this money. So that's what he ended up doing, and ended up losing like $1,000 out of his bank account. So it was a very tough lesson to learn, is that when you go into a restaurant or bar or whatever, ask for a menu, and then when you get your bill, check it against the menu to make sure that the price is right. And always ask before you go in, do you accept credit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever? Because if it's cash only, you want to know that ahead of time. So planning a little bit ahead, asking a few questions can save you a lot of heartache on your travels. Regarding money in your checking and savings account, I think there's a couple things that I would do, which is I would keep very little money in my checking and savings account that's linked to my debit card. That way, if I am forced to put my card in and give money for whatever reason, I only have a little bit of money in there and they can see that, and then I can say, this is all I have. I have $250 in my account. Here it is. You could either do that to your regular checking and savings account and put everything in your brokerage account, and then if you need more, transfer via computer from your brokerage account into your checking and savings, or open up a completely separate checking account through your bank that's just for travel and have a debit card that's linked just to that account, that are not linked to any other account, and that just put enough money in there that you would feel comfortable traveling with. So that way, if money was taken from you, either they stole your PIN in your card or they forced you, they could only get so much money out of that account, and it's not linked to any other accounts. The U.S. State Department has a website that you can go to, and it will list all kinds of scams, even breaking them down as to which are the most common scams per country. So you want to go ahead and take a look at that site and look at that before you leave, so you can be very aware of the scams that are probably going to be coming to you as soon as you hit the ground. Well, I hope I didn't scare you out of doing any traveling. Like I said, most of the time, nothing has ever happened to me, but I am a lot more situationally aware when I travel these days. And I hope you got some great hacks out of this. And for those of you who travel even more than I do, this is your call to action. Please leave a comment below of things that might have happened to you and what you do as precautionary things now that help keep you safer when you're taking a travel adventure, because I'd like to know, and I think everybody in this community would like to know, what's going to make our travel safer and have the best memories possible from our travel adventure. If you like this video, I really think you're going to like this one. And if you like more travel videos, you're really going to like this playlist. But until the next time, juice life, drink the joy, keep life simple, keep yourself safe on your adventures, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.